flu season, Tina. So kind of lead us into that and how we're doing that at Healthcare Express and your experience and what we do.
At Healthcare Express, one of the things that we always say is obviously cold and flu season is your busiest time of the year. And so we actually reserve a lot of our marketing dollars to do more marketing during the cold and flu season to remind people when they are sick to come in. And so when you're making your budget as a new urgent care clinic or as maybe somebody new to marketing urgent care, you should know to plan starting about November until about March is when you're going to spend the bulk of your marketing dollars on your traditional marketing campaigns and your internet campaigns. Marketing cold and flu itself, Tracy, I know when she came on at our clinic, brought in some tools that we didn't even know existed. Could you kind of tell about what distributors can supply for your in-house marketing?
Sure, yeah. Anybody that you go to as far as distribution, if you talk to them about a flu vaccine promotional kit, you can have mailers, buttons, stickers, flyers that will go up on your walls. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do promotional items.
So they provide for free.
And they provide them at no cost. Yeah, you just let your distribution rep know, and they'll make sure you get what you need.
Yeah.
So
I think the buttons, they were new to our clinic this year, but I think they really helped a lot. And they're
all of our
twofold.
staff walked around with a button that said, "Have you got your flu shot yet?"
Right.
And it's twofold because not only do patients read it and think about it and realize that you're offering the flu shot there, but having that button on also reminds your staff to ask, hey, have you got your flu shot yet?
And to maybe get theirs.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only
start
hope.
from the inside out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that is helpful. And remember, the least expensive marketing you will ever do is internal marketing.
Right.
They're already sitting in your room. They already trust you. They already know you. They already like you. That's the cheapest person you have to market to. They're already your customer. They already like you. And I think many times if you're a new urgent care or new business of any kind, remember internal marketing is much less expensive than going out and trying to acquire new customers. So.
Right.
And another thing that I think people often overlook in marketing as you're thinking on the big, as a marketer, I know it's very easy to think about the traditional things that you do. And when you think about a press release being a traditional thing, one of our very best avenues has been getting to know the local health editors one-on-one, and when they have a story come up, calling us. And so I would really encourage anybody, especially during cold and flu season, establish that rapport, because I mean, anybody sitting around this table would definitely agree rather have the free advertising than the paid advertising.
Nothing like a newspaper article promoting your clinic.
Yeah, and it sounds like common sense, but it's really the difference between sending a press release that's never read and calling up a friend on the phone.
There's a fellow in New Jersey has a fun little flu shot clinic one Saturday in October every year. What he calls it's a drive-through flu shot clinic, and he actually has tents up out in the parking lot, and people drive up with their car and they take the history at the first tent and they move to the next tent,
awesome.
and they're still in their cars. They never leave their car, and then he gives the shot through
Roll down the window
of the car.
So that
But the important aspect is the local TV stations come every year to get his drive-through flu shot season, and that's free marketing, and it's way more powerful than if you actually then you actually pay for that advertising. It's very important for startup urgent care centers to develop relationships with local reporters and tell them you're doing things, and also be the one person that's willing on Friday after Thanksgiving to come in and talk to the reporter at 6 or 4 p.m. so they can get it on that news. I've done that several times. The local reporters know the one guy that they can always get, no matter what time of day it is, no matter what weekend, is me. And so our clinics get that free advertising, which obviously it's not advertising, it's a news story. It's way more powerful because nobody's flipping channels during that. They're actually watching the news.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not even considered as advertising. It's just news, which is nice.
right.
Speaking of which, talk a little bit about our social media and how we've been using that in our blog and those kinds of things.
One of the things we started really heavy over the last 6 months is the social media. We have the Facebook and the Twitter. We've totally phased out MySpace. MySpace is just completely gone a different way. But we use WordPress as our blog. It's a free blog, so anybody out there who doesn't have one, you can just add it to your website. It just continues to look like part of your website, any IT department, or you can hire somebody in high school to probably put up free for about $50.
The adults won't know how, but the high school students will.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people starting an urgent care clinic may not. But there's an app on Facebook called Network Blogs, and literally when you blog on your WordPress, it immediately updates your Facebook. And we've set up several campaigns. One of them that's been really popular over over the last few months is called Did You Know? And it's just random Did You Know facts. Some of them about healthcare, some of them about things that are just going on, some of them just random. Over the Christmas holidays, we did just random Christmas facts. We had a lot of positive response. The hits on our website continue to increase from people clicking over from Facebook to
Yeah, we had more hits on our website in December than we ever had, right?
It's a record month.
Yeah, record month, and your website can actually become somewhat of a user-friendly environment. Most urgent care websites are purely informational, but ours has actually started to become more of an interactive website. And it is also a great place. It's kind of a sideline, but it is a great place to interact with your customers, for them to tell you how you're doing. We would much rather, our philosophy is we'd much rather have them telling us when we do something wrong than going and telling other people when we do something wrong. And so we take very seriously anything they can, because they're going to tell somebody. So we just soon have them tell us, and so we can make those corrections. And that's happened several times where you've been able to intervene.
Yeah, I was actually talking with Dr. Stern earlier before we got here, and I was telling him Facebook, much to my surprise, we have patients, instead of posting that they're mad about us on the Facebook page, are contacting us on the Facebook message board behind it, because we've developed that relationship where we're friends on the Facebook, and that's the whole point of wanting to do this, the relationship building. And so now they're like, hey, I was at your clinic today and I just wanted to let you know such and such happened, and it's become a phenomenal marketing tool that way that we can build customer service. The other thing that I think people on social media may not really understand is people on Facebook, they don't want to be sold to. People who are reading your blog, they don't want to be sold to. They want to build that relationship. They want to know what can you give them. And so we've taken that, we call it value-added marketing. In addition to doing the Did You Know campaigns and the regular, reminders to your flu shots, you can go to Google News and you can just click the health button and find out what the latest health articles are. And you can copy the health articles with permission. You take permission first to repost them to both the source, or you can tweak it to your own press release or get your own doctor's opinion on it, and that's updating. And our friends on Facebook are really liking that as well, because they're getting more information and they're learning what's going on out there on the local level. What about you, Dr. Stern? Have you guys had?
We've gone through a bunch of different attempts at Facebook. I'm not sure we're really convinced that Facebook's making a big impact. We were trying to put a post there every day for a while, even twice a day, but it got to be so it was almost spammy, I felt, so we pulled back significantly. And I think you guys are on cutting edge there. If you're really getting good interaction with your patients, I think that's useful, and I think that's where it needs to. That's good. I think one of the things I think you mentioned you're doing is on the way out. Are you encouraging patients that this is our Facebook page? You can see us there on the way out of the clinic.
They have different places in the clinic where they can see that. But I think the change really occurred and you mentioned it slightly, but the change occurred for us when we quit marketing and started adding value. When we said, you know what, our Facebook page should really be giving them real value, whether they ever come see us or not. I think that's really when it changed, don't you? Because I came home, I think from Fiji, and we'd had a conference there and talked about value-added marketing and what that really meant. And it means adding value to your customers, whether they use you or not. And I think when we made that change, it really did sort of change the way patients interact. I think they felt it. They felt that we weren't just marketing, we were actually adding value to them.
Wow, it's pretty refreshing.
You'll go to, and I've gone to a lot of different sites, not just healthcare industry, but just business sites in general. And today we're having this sale. Today we're doing this. Today it's all about us, and it's not about the patient. And that's, I think for us, when we first started Facebook, it was all about us. It was look at what we're doing, look at how cool we are. And periodically we still put pictures. We have fun days at the clinic, and we put pictures up about that. But the bulk of it for our patients and our staff, that's what
I think there's no question that Facebook is not a place to be advertising much about your center. If you have something really special going on, if there's free flu shots, okay, then that's value add, because there's real value there.
Right.
But if you want to tell them, our doctors are the best and here's why we think they're the best, they don't give a rip.
Right.
They expect your doctors to be good. That's expected. So I think it's a mistake to use Facebook as a self-promotional or company promotional.
I think it was a mistake we made in the beginning.